6 months ago, I sat in the same place in my kitchen and shot my first intro video for this channel with a vision, and that was to tell the stories of the African diaspora healthcare professional and educator and the impact they are making on healthcare delivery and education in Ghana. Today's video highlights one of such many inspirational stories. I believe whichever part you come from in Africa, these stories will resonate with you and hopefully inspire you. Hello, welcome back to the Chronicles of a Ghanaian Diaspora Nurse, The Return. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. Today, I am super excited to have with me a fellow African diaspora healthcare professional who is supporting healthcare delivery in Ghana and giving back in diverse ways. We are going to have a conversation about his experiences on what he's doing in Ghana and what we can learn from it, and hopefully inspire others who are thinking about doing something into action. Dr. Mensah, welcome to the channel, and thank you for coming and sharing your experiences with us. I hope this will be the first of many conversations we will be having, because I believe we can't talk about everything in one sitting. So welcome.
Well, thanks for having me, and happy to be part of the program. Yeah.
First of all, can you tell us a bit about yourself, what you do currently, and how long have you been a doctor for?
Okay, so now you want me to give you my age, right? Okay, so I've been a doctor for nearly 40 years. So my name is Dr. Paul Mensah, Paul Mensah. I trained at the University of Ghana Medical School, qualified in 1983, and then worked in Ghana for some time, and then came to the UK to do some postgraduate training. Currently, you'll be pleased to know that I have retired after nearly 30 years as a consultant obstetrician and gynaecologist with the NHS Scotland. But even though I'm not on the front line at the moment, I still try and contribute to healthcare delivery in Ghana in ways that I can afford to. Yeah. So.
Wow, 40 years.
Yes.
That's a whole wealth of experiences that we need to tap into this. We really need to make use of this. Wow, that's very rich. So, I mean, you mentioned where you trained and all these experiences you've had.
Yeah.
So what would you say would be your best achievement throughout your whole medical career? If you're able to single out one.
I think that would be a tough one. Because it depends on I think it depends on how you view it. Because you can view it from a personal level and say, okay, I trained in Ghana, I came to the UK, I became head of department of an obstetric and gynae department in the UK. So at a surface personal level, you say, yeah, that's an achievement. But that doesn't really help anybody else. It just helps me. So in terms of achievement that I can really, and I like talking about, it's all to do with the help I've given Ghana in the area of maternal health. Basically trying to reduce the toll of maternal deaths in Ghana. And that I've been involved in that for about 6-7 years. And I can give you a bit more about it later on. But that will be what I would consider to be my achievement, the part I have played in trying to reduce maternal mortality back home in Ghana. Yes.
Thank you. That's why I said that, you probably have to be coming back to tell us more. because there's a lot to give. There's a lot to give. So can I just ask you, what inspired you to give back to Ghana? I know many people come here, the better life. They just want to live on, go on, live their lives.
Yeah.
But what inspired you to go and give back to Ghana?
Although I moved from Ghana to the UK, I never ever gave up on Ghana. Ghana is still home. That's what I call home, and I go to Ghana regularly. So there was no any question. Of course, that's where I trained as well, and so there's no question of not wanting to give something back. But the key, I suppose there were three events. Let me tell you, three events. One was close to home. Back in my village in the Krobadze in the central region, when an 18-year-old went to give birth and died. And that was bad enough, but even what happened afterwards, quick burial, just quickly get, let's get on with this. She died giving birth. We can't spend too much time and so on. That upset me, did upset me in that sense, because all she was doing what I always say comes naturally to women. And if she dies, she needs dignity. But you look at what caused her death and you start thinking, could it have been prevented? So that was niggling in the back of her mind. And then my father took ill. So once I rushed home to Ghana, and right from the airport, I came out to the airport and I met a classmate of mine. I met this person, and he was in all black, and we started having a chat. And he asked me what I was doing back home, and I said, well, my father is not very well. I've come around to try and arrange medical care. And then I said, why are you in black? And what he said shocked me, because he said, I've just lost my wife. And I said, oh, so sorry to hear that. What was the problem? He said, she just gave birth and died. That again was so bad. And then he said to me, he said, maybe if you were here looking after my wife, maybe she wouldn't have died. That really was a blow to my heart. Obviously, I don't know the circumstances that led to the death of his wife. And therefore, I cannot say I would have been able to do anything. I don't think anybody can say that. But that was another shock to the system. So these things are beginning to eat at you. And then at a conference in I think it's Birmingham or Manchester, I met a Ghanaian obstetrician at dinner, and we kept talking. We got to know each other. And he said, oh, I go to Ghana regularly. I said, what do you do when you go to Ghana? Well, I go and work in a maternity unit somewhere in the Ashanti region. And I said, okay, that's nice. And what exactly do you do? But in the course of the conversation, it then transpired that he was born in that hospital and his mother died giving birth to him. So he gives back. He doesn't want anybody else to go through what so he never saw his mother. And so every year he takes time from his annual leave and then go over to Ghana to go and help them and basically go and work with them. He doesn't go and impose anything on them. And they were achieving great success, So at that point, I said to myself, you always talk about maternal health. You work in the UK, this is the time now for you to do something back home in Ghana. And it just so happened that I was in Malaysia at a conference, and I met a lady that I trained with when we're specializing together. She's from Holland, but actually she went to school in Ghana. And I think her mother was a nurse up in the north. And she said, Paul, do you know what I'm doing? I said, well, you tell me. He said, I'm really trying to help to reduce maternal mortality in sub-Saharan Africa. And currently, I'm working in Malawi and Somaliland. and we're getting some money from the UK government to support and other agencies. I think you should come and join me, and then we can do something in Ghana. That was the start of it all. And so over 6 years, I worked with the Center for Maternal and Newborn Health in Liverpool. We managed to get quite a big sum of money from the UK government, and I got to thank them for it. And over 6 years, we worked tirelessly in Ghana, just constantly doing training programs, delivering equipment for them to carry on with refresher, basically trying to change mindset that a mother dying is not normal, because sometimes people get these senses that is to it. So, and then once I got into it, well, I couldn't stop.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop. So we picked up 3 regions in Ghana which had the highest maternal mortality, which were the central region, the western region, and the northern region. And that's where we focused over the course of the years. And we did make some inroads. So that's why I said to you earlier on that this, if we were talking about my achievements in medicine, that will rank very high, because even if a mother was saved from the training, that's big enough. That's big enough for me.
It just shows, the impact of the humanity aspect of it, isn't it? Yeah. And it's so interesting that all the stories you've given me, there's a connection of personal experiences of people who then want to give back, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. Certainly, I have my experience, but and for another time. Thank you so much.
I think what happens is that you can look at reports and you can read statistics. In Ghana, 300 women die for every 100,000 who give birth. You go to Bangladesh and it's almost double. You go, and then you look at the UK and it's 10 per 100,000. I mean, still 10 is still a big number, but when you compare that to 300, that's a big, big difference. But it still may not have such an impact. But when you have something close to home, something that actually personal, the people involved, or you connected to them, that makes a big difference. And I think that's what did it for me.
That's so true. Thank you so much for that. So if you were to single one project to talk about, what would it be? I know you're involved in many, or one program or something you did and the impact you saw. What would it be?
The maternal, the obstetric emergency training programs that we did, because we trained a lot of trainers who then took up the training program, and there were so many people who had been trained who were always willing to come back and help when we were running the programs. But I think it's also changing mindsets, as well, that these things can be done and success can be achieved without the need for expensive equipment and MRI scans, because that is really been my focus in Ghana, reducing maternal mortality as much as can be done, and I'll continue to help in that regard forever.
Thank you.
As long as I've got the strength to do it.
Yeah, you carry on. Yeah, that's the spirit. Thank you so much. Do you have any unfinished projects currently in Ghana?
Yes. The COVID really has disturbed it. I'll tell you a story behind this unfinished project. When I first started clinical work in medical school, we went to the gynecology ward, and when we got to the ward, the sister in charge of the ward had made it quite clear to us that we couldn't go beyond some curtains. We couldn't go beyond there. Of course, you become curious. She wants to know what is it. She doesn't want us to go there. So you begin to find out. And these were women who had experienced obstetric fistula. So they've had childbirth, injuries have occurred, and they're leaking urine all the time. So they were put one side of the ward. They didn't mix with
Were
anybody.
Separated.
Yeah, we're separated. Separated because what, they don't wear nice clothes and they smell, whatever. And we were not to have to do anything at all with them. But then, of course, one of the women going to theater, and you could see the sadness and the misery written on her face, So she went, she had the operation. But fortunately for me, when she came back for review, this woman had makeup on, she had new clothes on, and she looked perfect. She looked, her dignity was back. She was, yes, she had confidence in herself, and she's not hiding. And I said to myself, I think one day I'll try and help some women with this condition. And even though later on in the career, I deviated more towards maternity, that has still been there. So what I did was with the Ghanaian Doctors and Dentists Association, I joined them I'm a member of the association, I was secretary, and we raised a lot of funds to go up to the northern part of Ghana to do this operation for these women, and pay for them because they can't afford them. They tend to be poor. And when we had a buy-in from a lot of interested ones, we raised quite a bit of money. Unfortunately, COVID came in and we couldn't go. Up in Scotland, I got a group of midwives and we formed a group with a very nice name, Off to Ghana. Off to Ghana stands for Off to Ghana.
That's the name.
That's the name of the group, Off to Ghana. But Off, OFF, stands for Obstetric Fistula Fund.
Okay.
For Ghana. To Ghana. Okay. So we got it all set up. We had individuals who were prepared to contribute, organizations, shops, hotels. We organized a dinner dance where we're going to get a bit of money. That was then going to be used to supplement what we got from the with the Ghanaian Doctors and Dentists Association UK. COVID came and everything fell apart. So it's something to revisit. So that is one of the unfinished projects. Yeah, it's a big project. It requires a lot of resources, but I'm not giving up on it. I'm not giving up on it. I made a promise to myself as a medical student, and I think if I can even get one woman treated, that would be nice. But we hope to treat more than just one. Yeah.
That's very true. That's all it takes. Even if it makes a difference in one person's life, it's a big deal. Yeah. It's something. Yeah. So basically, the project is like on hold, and it will be resumed.
It will be resumed. I've managed to meet up with a team in Edinburgh. They go to Uganda to do this work. They've been doing it for quite a lot of a few years now. So they are very experienced with it. They're prepared to work with us. Prepared to work with us in Ghana to try and share their experiences with us and contribute nurses and surgeons. And the nurses are prepared to teach the local nurses how to look after these women. They're dying to go. They're willing to go. It's just that COVID is put paid to that. So at the moment, what I'm doing is with Saltpond Hospital.
Is that another unfinished project or ongoing?
Yes. Well, it's just about to start because Saltpond Hospital is obviously quite close to my village. And a couple of years ago, I went over, met with the hospital administration and also with the doctors and wanted to find out what they needed. My interest obviously was in maternity. And they took me around, and I don't know whether you've been to Saltpond Hospital before, but the maternity is on the one side. And if there's an emergency, the patients have to be pushed uphill. with people watching from, you have to go through the crowd, basically, go through pharmacy. And of course, if there's an operation going on, then they can go in. Now, I don't know whether women have died because of that. I don't know, maybe not. But obviously, it's not satisfactory. So we thought, okay, let's cost this and see whether we can do something. If they can even get a small theater next to the maternity, then they wouldn't have to indignity of pushing these women through the crowd and that way. So we got some organizations here, Rotary Club and others, who were prepared to fund, give us some funding. Then something happened in Albania, and all the attention went to Albania. Now, I'm not blaming Albania. They needed help, and so that fell apart. So I've been back to them and asked them again. I said, we cannot build a theater because it's expensive. But what else do you think we can do for maternity? And so they came up with various things. So I gave a talk to the Infants, Man, Old Girls Association in the UK, and I managed to convince them that they have a sacred duty to help Suffolk Hospital.
Yeah,
so
I think I attended that. That was my first time of seeing you and hearing you. Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So that is, so at the moment we've got a list of things that they require that will really help with the maternity service, and they are for it. They've adopted it. We are in contact. So I'll become, if you like, the middleman between the hospital and the Infants, Man, Old Girls Association. And I'm hoping that will be done. If we can do it before the end of the year, then that can be ticked off. That the maternity has been rehabilitated, they've got the equipment, hopefully get the place painted up and nicely decorated. Just let the women who come to use the facility feel that they are being treated with some dignity rather than, come to some places where it's not so nice. So yeah, so that's where we are now.
Wow. Okay. I know that doing all this didn't come easy. What challenges have you faced? Just summarize it. I know there may be many, but what are some of the challenges you faced?
Well, I think some of the challenges in Ghana have been the fact that, for me personally, have been the changing attitudes in terms of accepting the situation. Because I remember going to speak to a doctor in a hospital and saying, how your maternity service is going on, and she said, only 7 women have died. And I thought, only? You cannot use that word. You cannot use that word only. But it's because you become desensitized to it. I think for me, initially, it was getting the time to go, because you have to use your annual leave, and that worked well. But it's been enjoyable. I actually haven't seen many things as too much of a challenge. It's just working with people, letting them know what your goals are, and how we are all in the same boat together. We want to help the mothers in Ghana. But yeah, getting the time, because I was using all my annual leave, of course I've got a family, they also need my time. So that was a bit of a challenge in that sense. Yeah.
So true. What I've realized in doing this kind of work, having come back and given back myself, is that when you love what you're doing and you have the passion for it, it just supersedes any obstacles or challenges. You've got to have that the will and the passion to do it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you see so many challenges, so many obstacles that can be overcome. Yeah,
they can be overcome. They can be overcome. Yeah, I think you are right. When you have, if you have a passion for something, I think these challenges are there, but they don't stop you. They don't stop you. You just try and work around them or remove them.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for all that. So my next question is going to be, I mean, I'm sure you know, and the African diaspora and development in Africa. There's been several calls. The diaspora should come back home and help build the nation. Is it that easy going back? You know, we often hear stories that, oh, this person has moved back, they are doing well. But when it comes to healthcare professionals, what do you think is some of the difficulties? Because I haven't seen much people going back, like to work in the same profession.
Yeah. I'd like to think that the situation has improved, because I know a few people who have moved back. Okay, I know a few people who have moved back. But I'll tell you. So there was a time, a few years now, or many years now, when I wanted to get back home, and
Wanted to go
I
back
know
and
once.
work.
Yes,
Yeah.
just go back and work back home, just permanent, you know. But if I tell you the frustrations that I encountered, that was unbelievable. But that situation, I don't think exists now. And you think about it, and you say to yourself, well, the problem was so easy to solve, you know, but somebody just will not move. And what they wanted to do was what they wanted to do, and nothing will happen. And of course, as I say, you know, the situation, I don't think it's the same now. It was fluctuation going back, but I don't think the situation there. The challenge really is, I think part of the problem is also from us in the diaspora. You know, my experience working with colleagues back home is a give and take. You know, respect them for what they're doing. You come with experience that you want to share. I think people have difficulties when they go and they think, I've come from an advanced country, I know it all, and I'm going to tell you how to do it. You know, people's backs, you know, get hard, you know, whereas if you work with them, respect what they do, the contribution that they have made, it works better. You know, I mean, I hear expressions like, oh, they don't want to know. It upsets me when I hear that expression. Really, it upsets me when I hear that expression, because I haven't found that. You know, to give people respect and tell them that we are all going along the same journey. You know, the majority will work with us. You can think about some of the, you know, situations back in Ghana where economy and all sorts of things, you know, sometimes push people off. But I've seen a lot of people go back that I know personally. So this is not hearsay. The individuals who have come back, they've gone, they've settled, they're working away, they're happy. So it can be done. It's just our own attitude towards going back and how we want to project. I'm not saying there are no difficulties. I'm not saying that people will not put frustration. It is possible. It is possible.
Yeah.
But sometimes we need to look at ourselves first before saying they don't want to know.
I was going to say the other thing I've also learned in my past experience is that you need to build bridges before you go. Because if you don't know anybody, you don't have any connections, you can't just get up and say, I'm going to this hospital to help, or I'm going to this. It's so important to build the bridges, the communications, the emails, the calls, build connections, links before you can build on that. Wow.
It is true, because I tell you, before we started the obstetric emergency program, I went to Ghana and I went to speak to regional directors of health. You know, I spoke to colleagues that I knew in those places. I went to the Ghana Health Service. Fortunately, the Director General was a classmate of mine at the time. In fact, the one before was a year ahead of me, and the one who took over was my classmate. So I had all these connections, and to let them know what we're trying to do, to make sure that it fits into the Ghana health plan. So you're right, you need to have that. So having established all that, with the regional directors, then it was a lot easier then because you met the people already. They know you, you know them. It makes life a little bit easier. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. What would you say to somebody who is watching, who is a healthcare professional, who doesn't, they don't have they have ideas, they want to go back and do something, but they don't know how? What would you say to them?
I think, first of all, you need to know exactly what you want to go and do. That's number one. Number two, where you want to go, is what you want to do a priority for them? You see, again, I mean, I like to use my own personal examples when I'm talking about these matters. Because when I went to Ghana with the obstetric emergency program, my first place was Kolebu, because that's where I trained. So I thought, okay, we'll go to Kolebu, we'll get it all established here, and so on and so forth. It wasn't their priority because it's a teaching hospital. And surely they know how to do obstetric emergencies. They bring all the cases to them. So it wasn't their priority. Their priority was with keyhole surgery and so on. So they wanted funding to get a laboratory where people can train there. And I think somebody will turn away and say, well, I went to my own people and they rejected me. No, I didn't feel that way. It wasn't a priority for them. So we need to know where you're going. What is the priority for them? See, you may have all the skills, you can do all these complicated and fanciful things, but is that what they need? So that's the first thing. And as you yourself said, try and get connection, build bridges there, get people who buy into what you want to do. Let everybody know that it's a benefit for everybody. And that will be a start, and it can be done. Japan, Germany, all these, Malaysia, they all depended on their diasporans after the war and after various things to improve. People should not go with a negative attitude that they are going to face obstacles. It's not them and us. It's all of us together, understanding each other, where we're coming from, and respect.
Yeah. So it's mutual respect and mutual benefit.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. In a way, you've answered the last question, which I was going to say. What message do you have for other African diaspora healthcare professionals? We've talked about somebody who is going and they don't know what to do, but generally, what message would you have for healthcare professionals who are here in terms of giving back to Ghana?
Yeah, I think it's a lovely thing to do, to give back to Ghana. It is a lovely thing. If you've got whatever skills you have and you want to go and give back to Ghana, I don't think there's anything else that will bring you so much joy than doing so. See, the people appreciate it if you plan it and work it out well. There's no question about it. I've got some very, very good friends now who are good friends with me now because we cooperated in doing some of these projects, both in Ghana and in Sierra Leone. We still communicate by email. We still send WhatsApp to each other. Just that. So it is joy. It's a joy to do it. And it's hard work, but you enjoy. I mean, the only thing I can say is that I found a lot of joy doing it. And I think they do, and the country needs it. See, the country needs the skills and the expertise that we have. We've had the advantage of working in an environment where the skill set is quite high. There's no reason why we can't transfer that, but doing it in a way that doesn't make somebody feel small and somebody feel big, working in cooperation. All I would say is that you go and taste it.
Taste and see.
Yeah.
Taste and see. And I can testify, Doctor, that whenever I went back, to do something, my God, when you're on the field, it's so rewarding. It's so rewarding. So yeah, thank you so much for your time, and I hope that this conversation will inspire someone, spur somebody on to take the action they've been wanting to take for a long time. The last question, and this is optional, you don't have to answer it. Do you see yourself settling back in Ghana anytime soon?
Yes.
That's
the short and long answer to it.
Okay. We shall all meet there. Thank you so much. And how can you be contacted in case somebody wants to support your project, the maternal and child health, the VVF you're talking about, and the
the VVF thing is the big thing now. I think the Sopon Hospital project, I think the Mfansiman Old Girls Association, I think they've got it under control. Obviously, if in future the hospital wants a theater, that becomes a big project, and that is a whole different story. But in terms of people wanting to go back and help with with the VVF thing, then I mean, it's okay to give my email address.
Yes.
Yeah. My email address is quite simple. It's pkamensah@gmail.com. And if anybody is interested in finding out a bit more about the VVF project, wanting to make a contribution, I heard of somebody who said, when we go up north, he knows of a chief who is prepared to put people in a hotel and pay for the hotel. So these are all sort of contributions that will go a long way. But anybody who is interested, that's my unfinished project. So
thank you.
pkamensah@gmail.com.
Yeah,
and
I'll put it in the description box. Yeah, just in case. Yeah. Okay. So, Dr. Mensah, it's been a pleasure talking to you, having this conversation with you. Thank you so much. And I hope that you come back again at another time to give us an update on one of your projects, how it's going. Okay, thank you.
No, I'll be delighted to do that. I'll be delighted. And thank you for having me anyway. Yeah, thank you.